lead up to a story. We both are very good. We're very fond of Paula Wolford. She has this scientist gave it to me when I was not home about 6-7 years ago. And we both know that she can't drive. And we've been driving all over the place. So she's just a very interesting character in that game. Anyway, she said, can you pick me up? So I picked her up in Sonoma. She has a big ranch outside Gondola Bunchu, Ravenswood Winery. She lives in a kind of ranchy place, and she said, can you pick me up at, I think it was 10:30, I had to go to San Francisco, and she needed a ride. I showed up at her house, and the person said, do you have time to make couscous? And now I'm going to San Francisco. Yeah, okay, we can make some couscous. And she wanted to talk to me about making couscous, and so we went to her house, and out came the ingredients. We made some couscous. She thought I should see her style of making couscous, and she gave me this one here. And you know, she said, I'm going to save it for tonight. But we also had her here at school when we had a lot of corporations in there before we had long-term students. And once we had the Marriott Hotel, you know, you understand Marriott Hotel chefs are usually, I want to say it was a 99.9% male class. You know, my class, and they were like, you know, breaking into the class for 2 days. And Paula Wolford walks by, and she said, oh, you made North African food today? And I said, yeah. She said, what are you doing using instant couscous? I'm sure how to make some couscous. And so before I knew it, in the next 15, 20 minutes, she had a blanket out on the floor in the teaching kitchen. And she was sitting down with 2 or 3 of those Marriott chefs, making couscous, and they all loved it. They walked away, and she's never going to forget that day. So this is the true story I have about Paula Wolford and how this is done. So unfortunately, the ingredients are not that common. I have semolina here. This is semolina. They've only had buckets of, hundreds of pounds of semolina. That's not the one you can use for making couscous. You need something called coarse couscous. Kent mentioned various different types. We're just going to make the plain country couscous of North Africa. But the coarse couscous, you can buy it, and I actually just talked to the storeroom, and they said they will get us some more. I said, when are you going to get it for us? Well, you know, end of the week. So I said, well, we can always revisit that if you want to, okay? But you can buy in Middle Eastern stores. Most of you know that, like in Marina. Is that a Middle Eastern store in Napa? Is that a Middle Eastern store in Napa? Middle Eastern store? So you have to go to like Vallejo or something like that. But that's where you need to go, like something like that. That's where you can get it. So that's from New York. Yeah, there's a huge store in New York that sells it. That's a great one. And then this is the last ingredient I need. I need something called durum wheat. The durum wheat is also semolina, but it's the way it's ground. You feel this, it's like powder. So let me revisit this. This recipe is on page 33 in your course guide. So you don't have to write the whole recipe down, but maybe the technique. So you need 2 ingredients, coarse semolina and durum wheat. Not the one in the middle. You cannot make it with that. Okay, I need also water.
I'm good.
And I like to salt the water a little bit. Got a little bit of salt in there. And lukewarm water. I need my coarse semolina. I need my durum wheat. I need a tray. I'm sure that in Tunisia, Morocco, they have, you know, clay trays and stuff like that. I've been using often a paella pan for this. I like the paella pan size. It's nice. There's handles on it. And then I need a sprinkler. You want to be my sprinkler? You be the sprinkler, okay? So he's gonna, when I tell him to sprinkle, he's gonna sprinkle water into my pan as I'm making the couscous. You see how I'm doing that right now? Okay? And I don't want anybody like doing this, but you have to sprinkle in. Obviously, Paula Wolford said, well, in Morocco when I lived there, that's what the women do at home when he's out working in the fields. Just like any other country in the world today, that things have changed. I'm sure they don't make their own couscous every day in Tunisia and Morocco anymore. Some do, obviously, but some don't. But we're going to try to make some couscous right now. I'm going to take half of this because I want to try to make a double batch. And it can seem easy. I find myself still making sometimes more lumps when I'm making couscous. So that's kind of how you have to look at it. First of all, I want to sprinkle now water into this so it looks a little bit more like grated, almost like grated Parmesan cheese. You see how now, how the grains are getting bigger and bigger? Okay, go ahead and stop. So now, the couscous or the coarse semolina have gotten a little bit of texture and start sticking to my hands a little bit. Okay, so that's a good sign. I think I'm gonna go ahead and stop here, and I'm gonna add now the durum wheat. I used to tell my students, I will tell them always that if you look at a couscous grain under a microscope, it's a solid thing with puffy, light snowflakes on the outside. That's what the couscous looks like under a microscope. You understand that? So the couscous is two kinds of flours sticking together. So now I'm going to roast it together, and what happened is it got dry instantly, but I already had that coated on the grain. Let's go ahead again. So I'm going to go ahead now and get it wet again. I'll do this about 3 to 4 times is what I do. A little bit more. More. And I want to get this grain top again. Go ahead, one more. And really try to get the water in here, not on the floor.
Not aiming for you, Chef.
I see that. Okay, go ahead. One more time. So I can easily put too much water in here. It will get very long. So now, one more time. I'm getting to the point where I can go ahead and add one more time. And I'm always trying to figure out to give you some kind of a measurement. It's not quite 50-50, but it's close to it. Maybe by the time you're done, go ahead, one more water. It's about 40-60 when I'm all done. Go ahead. So now see how they got big suddenly? See how they actually come together really well here? We're doing good. I got a couple of lumps on my fingers, which is almost impossible. I don't remember if Paula Wolfer was so good that she didn't get those big lumps. But I can tell you is that you can easily get a big lumpy mess in front of you if you add too much water. But I want to go dry, wet. That's how you make couscous. This is basically what you have one more time. You saw some pictures. Go ahead one more time. All couscous in America you buy, all couscous, even the couscous store, is all instant couscous. It's not sad, that's the way it is. I mean, the couscous we have here, right here is couscous, where is it? As I send it around, right there. Here's couscous. It's already been cooked and dried. So when you make couscous from that stage, the most 99% of restaurants in America would just add boiling chicken stock to it, fluff it up, and then warm it up somehow, right? Very few people go to the trouble to use the couscousière to cook it. Go ahead. Okay, we're gonna strain it one more time. I want to get back to a little bit of wet again. Okay. One more time. Good. So right here we take our couscous.
Chef, you want to keep the couscous on the tray now.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mr. Reed. Thank you. I am going to bag me. Okay, so now this is a special drum soup. Okay, and it's not the one from pastry that Chef Robert Jordan has been looking for the last 6 months. This is a special one, and I said, okay, mentioned there was different sizes of couscous, fine, coarse, different sizes for different occasions, different dishes. But it goes in here. And it goes in here. And that's basically how you make couscous. So go ahead and send this around. I'd like now to finish a little tasting for you before I take a quick little break and just